The Last of Us, released by Naughty Dog in 2013. Uh, Damn, what do I have to say? I fucking love this game. From the second I played it, I immediately fell in love with this game. I love everything about it. And the remastered on the PS4 just enhances my love for that even more. Of course, the PS4 port is beautiful to look at. Like the way, like the enhanced graphics from the old PS3, it just makes the game feel more realistic. You know, with the shadows and and like the detail given to the landscapes, the detail given to the characters on the PS4 port is phenomenal. Uh, is phenomenal. So on the technical side, the port is fantastic. But let's get to the juicier stuff, which is the story of this game, which is very emotional, it's very heartfelt, and it's very human. And I just love how these characters are written and presented in this game. You have Joel, who when we first see Joel, he's like, the single father, struggling. You know, obviously something happened to his wife. They don't really go into it, but he's just a single father trying to take care of his daughter. And then all of a sudden, this worldwide pandemic happens, and pretty much everyone is being affected by this disease, which turns them essentially into zombies. And and of course, while on the run, his daughter's accidentally shot and killed. And right off the bat, this immediately sets up Joel when we see him in 20 years later, when the game finally kicks in, when the game really kicks in. He is hardened. He is cold. He is ruthless. Through a lot of like optional conversations throughout the game, you hear that Joel has a reputation for being very aggressive, and throughout the game, certain characters, including his brother Tommy, also add on to the fact that Joel is is a bad motherfucker. So yeah, so like when we see Joel in present time, he's just rough, aggressive, and you could say gritty, and I love it because when he meets Ellie, you kind of see him like break down that barrier a little bit, and he starts to like remember what it was like to be in his previous life. A father, protective father, and the chemistry between Joel and Ellie is very, very, like I said, very heartwarming, very uplifting because they eventually they develop a father daughter relationship, and I always look at it in Joel's eyes. It's almost like he has a second chance again, as to be a parent, and to like this time where he failed to save Sarah, he's not going to fail Ellie. But of course, there are also a lot of instances in the games where you can tell that Joel is developing these parental feelings towards Ellie, and he doesn't want to get attached because he doesn't want to lose, like he doesn't want to lose Ellie the way he lost Sarah. And there are a lot of exchanges where you can clearly tell that Joel is forcing himself to say a lot of these things to Ellie. Like there's one very, 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 like very intense scene where Ellie and Joel are having a conversation, and because Joel wants to give Ellie to his brother Tommy to take to the Fireflies, and the Fireflies are these group of rebels that are like going against the government quarantines and shit like that. But anyway, I digress. But Joel wants Tommy to take care of Ellie, and Ellie does not want to go with Tommy because she feels more comfortable with Joel. And you can tell that Joel does want to get rid of Ellie, but at the same time, he kind of maybe he doesn't really want to get rid of Ellie. And they have this very intense conversation where Ellie was like, I don't want to be with anyone else. I'll just be more afraid because I feel the safest with you. Because everyone who's ever been with me has left me or died, but except for Joel, because Joel was always there to protect her. And Joel just says, what, you're not my daughter, and I damn sure ain't your dad. But I don't know. To me, you could tell he was forcing himself to say that because that couldn't be any more farther from the truth. Because about the course of the game, he looks to Ellie as a daughter, and they develop this really cool bond with each other. So I love it. And it's that human part of the game that sets it apart from, you could say, other games set within a zombie apocalypse, because it puts the human story first, and it puts all that other stuff in the background. It plays into the story, but it doesn't take over the story, as you would say a Resident Evil does. But yeah, so that central story I love, and of course you got all the other side stuff, and you got all the other fun characters, like the character of Bill. I fucking love the character of Bill. When we see Bill, he's just hysterical. To me, Bill has the best lines in this whole movie, in this whole game. I'm sorry, I said movie because the game looks like a movie. It's so well done, put together. It's almost as if you're watching like this zombie horror drama, because the acting is top notch. You got Troy Baker as Joel. You got Ashley Johnson as Ellie. You got W. Earl Brown, who played Kenny in Scream, who played the Kenny the cameraman in Scream, as Bill, and W. Earl Brown has this amazing sense of humor to me, and he's just like such an underrated actor. And I'm so glad that he was Bill, because I can't picture anyone else playing Bill since I played this game multiple thousand times. Like, W. Earl Brown is Bill. What W. Earl Brown's humor is what makes Bill a realistic character, makes Bill a real character, a real human. And like I said, he has the best lines. Like, this is one section of the game where they're trying to go to the school to get parts to a car so that they can leave, so they can get out of Bill's town and get Ellie to the Fireflies. They go to the school and they find out that someone stole the car, already took the car parts. And Bill's like, "Oh fuck, what are we gonna do?" And like Bill's like, "Anywhere but here." It was great. And then we get to like they finally get out of school after you beat like this fucking ginormous fucking mammoth thing called a bloater, which is a pain in the ass to beat, but there's a trick to beat them. Just use Molotov cocktails and nail bombs and a powerful rifle, and that motherfucker will be gone before you know it. That's a little trick to get rid of the bloater. But anyway, I digress. So it's like so they go to this house, right? And they're hiding out, catching their breath, and like Bill and Joel are arguing, we need another plan, And Bill's like, "Oh, the plan, that was plan A, B, C, all the way to fucking Z." And I just love W. Earl Brown's delivery on that line. So good. So good. And of course, throughout the course of the game, we meet other characters. We meet the characters of Sam and Henry, which are the two brothers that that briefly join up with Joel and Ellie. And of course, they have a tragic end to themselves. And then we later on in the game, when we get to the winter section, we meet up with this character David, who he comes across as a guy that you think is going to be helpful. And then later on, you find out this motherfucker is a cannibal. He's going to kill me. He's going to eat me. And there's also a hint that he's a child rapist or molester or something, because he has an underlying sexual attraction towards Ellie, which makes the character of David even more despicable. So yeah, and of course David is played by the amazing, the awesome, the voice of Nathan Drake, Nolan North, in a nice little cameo role, which is always fun because Nolan North is fantastic. So yeah, like this game is full of like these rich. It's just full of these characters that are just so like they serve the story too. They're not just thrown in there for the sake of it. They actually serve the story, and you take stuff out of it, because the experiences that Ellie has with Henry and Sam affect her. The experience that she has with David affects her throughout the course of the game. You see, and through dialogue, you see the effect. And so, like as I said, the story elements in this game are fantastic. But now let's get to the mechanics and the actual gameplay, which I think is also fantastic. I've never been much for shooters, but The Last of Us is the first, I guess you could say, quote unquote, shooter I've ever played, and I love it. The gameplay in this game is so easy. It's so easy. It's not hard whatsoever. I love the gun control. I love the aiming. It's all done very, very well. I think it's done better than Last. To me, I think it's done much better in Last of Us than it is in Uncharted. Because in Uncharted, it gets a little choppy when it comes to like the aiming and stuff. But I think in Last of Us, it's handled a little much better. Especially the camera angles, I think, are also handled much better in Last of Us as well, as opposed to Uncharted. So to me, that's a big plus because I don't have the camera putting me in directions where it's like awkward for me to like see what I'm doing. I have control. I have control of the camera, and I can place it where I want to place it, so I don't get myself killed or anything like that. So that's very important to me as a gamer, someone playing, is that I have complete control of everything, and that I'm able to get through certain aspects of the game without getting myself killed. And of course, as I said before, the landscapes in this game look fantastic. Um, I love the run. I love the 20 years later when we see America pretty much worn out, run down. Civilization is all but lost. You get these pocket societies here and there, and I just love how run down everything looks. We see like this office building which is completely destroyed. We see like the sewers and like train stations which just look completely run down and just utterly like abandoned and destroyed, and a lot of it's mostly flooded in water, which is cool. To me, is pretty cool. I love the fall landscape as well because it really does look like, and I like the way everything looks. How like the rain looks so real when it hits the ground. I like this section when they go to like a college campus, and it just looks so detailed and just like so, and it just enhances the experience even more because it looks so realistic. And you want to see realistic. The winter section in this game looks fucking beautiful. The way the snow looks, the way certain animals look. There's like an opening cinematic. You see Ellie shoot an arrow through a rabbit, and it looks so realistic. And I just love everything how everything looks. I also like the look of the creatures, of the zombies too. You got the runners that look all misshapen and deformed. You got these things called clickers, which look fucking frightening because they pretty much have no face. And like I said earlier, you got these fucking ginormous, fucking gargantuan things called bloaters, which if you see one coming from a mile away, you better run as fast as you can because when that motherfucker gets a hand of you, you're dead. So yeah, like the monster designs in this game look awesome. And I guess you could say they look almost pseudo-realistic in a way. If this thing were to happen in real life, I can buy them looking something like in The Last of Us as opposed to any other game. So I kind of like that. So I really do like that. If this happened in real life, these things would look something like this, which is a big plus to me. So yeah. I think I covered pretty much a lot of this, pretty much almost everything. If I didn't, then I didn't. It's whatever, played the fucking game. That's all I've got to say because this game is a solid 10 out of 10. I love The Last of Us. I play it maybe twice or three times a year. And every time I play it, I never get bored of it. I always find these little nuggets of details every time I play it, and it just enhances the experience for me all the more because it's like finding new things in an old house, which is always a great thing. Always a great thing because it makes you appreciate everything better when you play it. So to close it out, again, Last of Us, solid 10 out of 10. If you haven't played it, what the hell is wrong with you? Play the game because I truly believe you will find it very, very enjoyable. And in my opinion, I think Last of Us tops games like Resident Evil. Yes, I think it tops Resident Evil. So, keyboard warriors, fucking bash me all you want. Say, hey, you fucking loser. Resident Evil is the best thing ever created. Yeah, fuck you. And yes, I do think it's better than The Walking Dead also. And all you Walking Dead lovers be like, The Walking Dead, how can you say something like that? The Walking Dead's awesome. I seen The Walking Dead. After season 4, I fucking turned it off because I got bored. The comic books for The Walking Dead are 10 times better. So that's my little rant on that. But yeah, Last of Us, 10 out of 10. And now, I'm going to touch briefly on the the current sequel, which is currently being made. I saw the teaser trailer, and I like it. I cannot wait for it. From what little they showed us, it has potential to be a pretty intense game. Ellie is, of course, I think the game takes place maybe 5 years after this one, so Ellie's like pretty much a grown adult now. And when we see her, she's playing this acoustic guitar, and you can tell her hands are all bloodied up, and you know that shit has gone down or is about to go down because Ellie has this line where she's like, they're all gonna die, or I'm gonna kill them all, or something like that. So, oh yeah, it's gonna be. I think Last of Us 2 is gonna be pretty intense. I think it might even top the first one. We'll find out when it gets released. Hopefully, within the next year or so. So, I cannot wait for that. So, that is my take on Last of Us. As I said, 10 out of 10. If you haven't played it, what are you waiting for? Play it. I am AJ Legend. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you again next time.